Hi friends, I thought I would start a Springathon vlog this weekend, and it's also my mid-month book bash. I'm gonna do mid-month book bash starting today. Today is May 13th, which is Thursday, and I'm going to do it today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, because today is the last day of my vacation. I've been on vacation for the last week, and it was not a vacation that was, particularly conducive to getting a lot of reading done, and so I am very far behind on what I wanted to, or what I had hoped to accomplish during the Springathon. So I'm hoping to sort of jumpstart that and finish strong at the last little bit of Springathon here, extending it into the weekend, extending Springathon past the 14th when it's supposed to end, and to Sunday, which is the 16th. So next 4 days, really want to be focused on my Springathon reading. I do have one book for the BookTube prize that I want to finish up today, and that is not Springathon related, and that is Hidden Valley Road, and I only have that much left. I've been listening to this on audiobook, but I think I will finish it up in the physical copy today. That's my hope anyway. Also, want to continue working on this weekend, hopefully finishing up in the next day or so, this collection of short stories, Ship Fever by Andrea Barrett. And I am 4 short stories into this, loving this collection so much. This is like short stories that are totally up my alley. They're mostly historical, although I did read one in the last 4 that was more of contemporary, but very much nature-based, based on some real-life naturalists, scientists, and some other ones that are not. But I really have loved the tone of these stories so far, and I'll talk more about that later. I'm also in the middle of Amity and Prosperity, One Family in the Fracturing of America by Eliza Griswold. This is a nonfiction book about fracking in western Pennsylvania, about one family and the ordeal that they go through when fracking starts to happen near their house. And it's sort of a journalistic environmental story. It's investigative, I guess I would say, as this author is like doing her research and interviewing all the people in the town and the community and trying to piece together what happened to this community because of fracking. And I actually started reading this on my vacation because we were in Pennsylvania, and I wanted to read a book that took place in Pennsylvania while I was there. I just thought it was a nice connection. And I started reading it out loud to my husband in the car just to read him a section, and he got really into it. And so now I am reading it out loud to my husband because I couldn't get it on audiobook. So, yeah. And we're loving it. It's so compelling. It's very, very compelling. If you like journalistic nonfiction and you're interested in environmental issues, I think this is a fantastic, fantastic read. So those are the ones I'm going to concentrate on first. And then when I finish, I'm just reaching over here into my book cart. When I finish Hidden Valley Road, hopefully today, like I said, I am going to start The Next Great Migration, which is on my Springathon TBR and is also the last book that I need to read for the BookTube prize for this round. So that's the one I want to read next after Hidden Valley Road. And like I said, I'll be continuing on with the rest of the stuff on my Springathon TBR. Oh, and the other thing I will be reading this weekend is the April issue of the Atlantic magazine. I'm buddy reading that with Britta, so I'll be working on that this weekend as well, and I will bring you along for the ride. So I finished Hidden Valley Road by Robert Kolker, Inside the Mind of an American Family. This book is about this family, the Galvin family, who had 12 children, and 6 of them suffered from schizophrenia. This is a book that I read for the BookTube prize. It is the 5th book in my group of 6 that I had to read for this particular round. Sorry, my laundry there is in the background. You can see it. So I'm not going to talk about it any further here. You'll have to wait to hear my thoughts when I finish the round and I talk about them all and rank them. But I just wanted to check in here and let you know that I did finish a book. I read about 75 pages of this morning to finish it up. And I think that was Libby's Tale. you probably just saw coming through the video. I have been trying to read at least 100 pages a day in the month of May. I want to do it for the whole month, and particularly focused on Springathon to start, but it hasn't been going that great. Some days I've been able to reach my target, and then other days not so much. Hello, Libby kitty. You want to get on camera? Yeah, Libby was missing us while we were gone on our vacation, so she's been hanging pretty close since I got back last night. Anyway, so yeah, trying to read 100 pages a day, hoping that this weekend I can sort of read more and get my average back on track for the month. It is the 13th day of the month, so I'm about halfway through, and I think it is, you know, it's a really good goal for me to try to read that much a day, just because it helps me stay on track with everything that I want to get read this month. So yeah, I'll let you know how that's going as well. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but there must be some wild turkeys down in the woods down here behind my house, because I keep hearing them gobbling, and it's really funny to hear them. They just make these funny noises. So hopefully you heard that. I'm going to switch the camera around here so you can see Libby. Hello, Libby kitty. How are you doing, Libby kitty? Did you miss me? Yes, you did. Such a good girl. She loves to hang out on the deck here and roll around, especially when it's nice and sunny and warm. So yeah, she's getting pretty big. Actually, I think she got fat while I was gone. I think my cousin's daughters were taking care of her, and I think maybe they were feeding her quite a bit while they were over here playing with her. So yeah, that's her. Hey friends, it is Friday, May 14th, day 2 of my mid-month book bash, and I did really well yesterday. So I read 248 pages on Thursday. So, and I read all of the rest of Hidden Valley Road. I read a bunch in this book of short stories, Ship Fever, and then I read the first 90 pages of The Next Great Migration for the BookTube prize. So I think I did really well yesterday, but today has not been good. So it is 7:15 at night on Friday night, and I've read maybe 15 pages in this. So my goal is, before I fall asleep tonight, I want to finish Ship Fever. And I'm just reading the last novella, which is the title story of this collection. So I think I can do it. I'm not sure for sure how many pages that is. I'm pretty sure it's not 100 pages. So I'm probably not going to get my 100 pages in today. But I don't have any plans for tomorrow, Saturday, and not very many plans for Sunday. So I'm hopeful that I can pick up my pace for Saturday and Sunday and really make some good progress in my books and in my page counts for pages read. So today has not been super successful for reading. I did get, I had to work today. I had a bunch of house chores that I had to get done, which I did get done. And I filmed some video stuff and edited it. So, I feel like I did accomplish something, but not as much reading as I would have liked. So that's where I am on Friday, second day of mid-month book bash. Let's keep our fingers crossed that Saturday and Sunday are going to be much better. I'll check in with you later. Good morning. I just wanted to pop on here and say happy Saturday. It's May 15th, and I did read my 100 pages yesterday. So I finished Ship Fever last night, and that last story was 97 pages long or something like that. And then I read 10 pages of The Next Great Migration. So yay me, I got to my 100-page goal after all. So this book, this collection of short stories, Ship Fever by Andrea Barrett, was so good. I really, really enjoyed this. I kept track of, like Judy did, she kept track of her star rating for each story in the table of contents, and I did the same thing. And nothing was less than a 3.5 star for me. And there were several 5 stars and several 4 stars. So this overall was 4 stars for me, this whole collection, which is really good for a short story collection. I think the quality overall was really good. There was a mixture of historical and contemporary stories. The very last story, the title story, Ship Fever, was about the immigration that happened from Ireland during the potato famine to Canada. And it tells the story of a doctor who's working on an island in Canada, the quarantine station for the ships coming across from Ireland with the immigrants on board. And it resonates so deeply with what we've been going through with coronavirus over the last year, of, public health measures that are enacted too late to really make a difference, inadequate medical supplies and medical staff to care for the people who are ill, inadequate quarantine measures to separate the people who are healthy from the people who are ill, the prejudice and racism that the immigrants experience from the people who are in the country that they're trying to get to start a new life. Like, all of that stuff just resonates so deeply with what we are going through in the present day. I just thought it was amazing. Such a good story, and so well written. And then the other stories also talk about different natural phenomenon, different historical figures from the 1800s, like Linnaeus, Darwin. Different folks like that are in the stories as, either catalysts for what's happening or just secondary characters or whatever. I love that aspect of it as well. And then some of the stories were like continuations of each other, so that was nice too, to like sort of get stories that talk to one another within the collection, like interconnected in a way. So yeah, overall this collection is excellent. I would highly recommend it, especially if you're interested in nature writing, or short stories that are historical in nature. I think that's the majority of what these stories are, and they were really, really fabulous. So thank you again, Judy, for sending me this book. I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I read it for Springathon. So today is Saturday. As you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous outside. We're headed up to camp, so I will check in with you later. Sunday morning, May 16th, last day for me for the mid-month book bash, and I have been doing quite well. I've met my 100-page goal every day so far. I'm hopeful that I will meet that same goal again today. So yesterday I spent most of the afternoon reading in the April issue of the Atlantic, because I'm buddy reading this with Britta. And so I read like probably the first 50 pages in this magazine yesterday, and I wanted to particularly talk about one article. Let me see if I can turn to the pages that it was on. Maybe. So as I was saying before I was interrupted with a phone call, the article I want to talk about was this one, After the Blast, by Raina Abouzid, and this is about the explosion in Beirut that happened last summer when that the fertilizer that had been stored in that warehouse for many, many years blew up and was like the biggest blast that had happened. I think it's the biggest blast since Hiroshima. I can't remember for sure, but it's like it was one of the biggest blasts ever, and it killed so many thousands of people. It killed more than 200 people, and injured more than 6,000 people. So really, really bad situation. And Raina is a journalist and a writer, and she lives in that area, and her apartment was heavily damaged by that blast. And so this is kind of like a personal essay, and also, just talks about the situation in Lebanon and why that government failed to provide assistance to people after that blast. And I thought it was really, really good, a really good exploration and discussion of what is the role of government after a disaster, and what should we be expecting our governments to provide after a disaster. And as an American, especially as a white American, I have a high expectation of what the government is going to do if something bad happens, natural disaster, or like in that case, an explosion, because because people didn't take care of something. Like, I have high expectations about what is going to be provided to me in terms of assistance. And I mean, I know I am not, so naive that I don't understand that that is not the situation for everybody. And I have watched what has happened in New Orleans and Puerto Rico and other places in America after disasters, and how the government does not come to the aid of citizens the way that they should. But to hear her describe like the complete and utter failure of government to provide even the basic minimum amount of assistance to people in Beirut after that explosion was kind of amazing to me. And she describes how I think of Beirut as, a modern cosmopolitan place, but it is a place where the power is turned off for some period of time every day. No explanation, no reason why, just happens. So people pay an electricity bill, and then they also have to provide their own like backup generators. So essentially paying their electricity bill twice. Like, they have to pay 2 utility bills for their electricity just in order to have electricity. And the same thing for water. Like, the public water supply does not work all the time. So they pay one bill for public water, and then they have to buy their water to be delivered or whatever. So they're essentially paying twice for the same utility. And it's just mind blowing to me that that would happen in a modern cosmopolitan place like Beirut. And I know that that is the situation. Like, don't at me. I understand that this is a situation in many, many places in the globe, but I thought her description of it, and especially the description of what didn't happen after that disaster, at the basic things like providing water to people, providing medical attention to people who were injured, even providing garbage cleanup, like for all the glass that was everywhere and all the building debris and just everything, like everything had to be done DIY. Everything had to be taken care of by yourself. And these community organizations and just individuals would set up these job share type things or help centers on the internet where you could find people to, come replace your windows, or, if you needed water or you needed, medical attention or whatever, like you could find like people in your community who would provide those services. And I thought, it's amazing that they did that. And I'm really glad that they did that. But I also, they shouldn't have to do that, right? Like, the government should have stepped in and provided those services. And it really just made me start to think, what should we expect our government to provide? And I think the bare minimum of what a government should provide is assistance after a disaster. It shouldn't even be a question. That should really just be the basic thing that government should be in place to do. So yeah, I have to highly recommend The Atlantic. Every time I read The Atlantic, there's always an article, multiple articles within the issue that really give me pause and make me think about a broader issue. And I just think it's such a good publication. So yeah, hopefully today, it's a beautiful Sunday. You can see how sunny and lovely it is outside. And I hope to get much more reading done. Hey everyone, it's the end of the mid-month book bash for me. Sunday night, it's almost time for bed, but I did want to check in once more and just say that I did finish The Next Great Migration by Sonia Shah. This is the last book that I had to read for the BookTube prize for this round, so yay me. And it was also one of the books on my Springathon TBR. So yay, I am so glad that I finished this book this weekend. I feel very accomplished. I also finished The Atlantic that I was reading. This is the April issue, and I also just want to point out that there's a really nice article at the end about that reviews a couple of cookbooks, and the author, who I'm blanking on her name right now, says, what's wrong with using a recipe? Why are we all shamed into this idea that we need to improvise in the kitchen? And I was cheering as I read it, because I am the type of cook that goes by the recipe, and I find it much more comfortable to cook using a recipe. And I'm always why does everybody talk about not using a recipe? I'm just not that kind of cook. So I appreciated that article very much. Really good as usual, issue of The Atlantic. Now I'm going to turn you around and show you my spread for keeping track of my page counts that I've been using for the month of May. So this is my page where I've been tracking how many pages I read every day. You can see across the top here I have the names, the titles of the books that I'm reading or the periodicals, and then down the side is each day of the month. So for example, you can see on Thursday, I read 248 pages. On Friday, I read 107 pages. On Saturday, I read 129 pages. And then today I read 195 pages. So I met my goal for reading 100 pages a day or more over the mid-month book bash. You can see that I didn't always make my 100 pages a day goal so far this month, but I'm hopeful that if I keep it up, my average per day for the month of May will be 100 pages. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about what I accomplished this weekend. Another successful mid-month book bash, a very successful Springathon, which I will be continuing for the rest of the month of May so that I can read all the books that were on my TBR. I hope you have all been finding some great books to read, and I will talk to you later. Bye.